To the Democrats' response here in discussion, Representative. All right, you voted against it. Is that correct?
Yes, I did, Liz.
Okay. Will there be another vote today? No, correct?
There won't be another vote today. The Speaker has adjourned for the day because of the observance of the Jewish holidays. We expect that she will call the members back in on Thursday, but of course that will be subject to the chair. As you know, the House and the Senate are controlled by the Democrats, and so they call us back in at their leisure.
Okay. I think that they've made it pretty clear that they are serious about trying to get this done, as has the president, a Republican. You know, I think that people on the outside who are looking at this see that if the president and Henry Paulson, both Republicans, want this, then they have lost control of you, the Republican Party. Is that a fair assessment, since more than 200 of you voted against it?
Well, I don't think that the president has had control of the Republican Party. Our franchise is given to us by the people that we represent from our districts. We heard loud and clear from the people from our districts. They don't want to be hung with a $700 billion bill for this bailout. They've said, can't you find another way? We believe that there is another way. And I just want to say I take great umbrage to the fact of what Barney Frank and what Speaker of the House Pelosi has said. House Republicans were not a bunch of sore heads today that somehow had their baby feelings hurt. That's not what happened. We had a very principled response together with a great number of Democrats in saying no to President Bush. We don't believe that this is the best answer. We think there is another way to go forward, and we need to have cooler heads prevail. This cure could be worse for the economy, a $700 billion bailout, which, by the way, will raise the debt ceiling $1.2 trillion. There is another way to do this, and over the weekend we had extensive consultations with a former FDIC chair, Bill Isaac, and we learned some tremendous information. You know, this is not the first time the United States has gone through this. We had a dramatic S&L meltdown in the early 80s. We've had maybe 15 banks fail, Liz, in the last year. During the S&L meltdown, we had 3,000 banks fail. During that time, there's some very simple adjustments that were made, and there are some very simple adjustments that we could make in SEC rules and FDIC rules, and we wouldn't expend money.
Representative, what must it look like in a nutshell for you to pass this? Because, you know, and Bill Isaac is a frequent guest here on Fox Business, and we've definitely heard his thoughts and ideas. But in the time that I think there's an attempt to let cooler heads prevail, some sides are looking at this and saying that WAMU collapsed. Washington Mutual came very, very close, and we've got some other banks here on the floor of the New York Stock Exchange that are pretty close.
And, of course, Wachovia this morning. And that's exactly why we're telling the Democrats, whoa, stop here. Because this $700 billion bailout doesn't go to the crux of the problem, which Barney Frank said was a credit crunch. It's a crunch of capital, of credit. The way out of this woods is to be able to change the SEC rule. We need to, if there is no market, and there isn't on mortgage-backed securities, we need to recognize that, and the SEC chair needs to suspend mark-to-market accounting rules on mortgage-backed securities. They also need to do away with naked short selling. On the FDIC side, we can do what we did during the S&L crisis. We can issue net asset certificates, which will bring worth to these mortgage-backed securities, and the FDIC can send a letter out to all banks saying, look, we're going to back up every deposit. The last thing we want is a run on the banks. And so what your viewers need to know is keep your head cool. There's no need to run on the bank or empty your money market.
We've got to jump in. We've got to run in, I know, and that's definitely a point that we've made several times here on Fox. Representative, thank you very much. Michele Bachmann of Minnesota will be speaking with you, I'm sure, in the next couple of hours or days. Who knows? Let's go right to Rich Edson, who is